Oh my God. All right. Hello, everyone. Today I'll be reading from my self-published book, The Unexpected, A Story of Redemption. This book is dedicated to my friends and family who have supported me throughout my life. Without you guys, I wouldn't be the man I am today. I would also like to dedicate this to the men and women of our armed forces who defend this great nation, and to those who made the ultimate sacrifice. This is for you. Move in, said Navy SEAL Team Leader Chief Petty Officer Roderick Bennett, his voice low and measured, brimming with tension. It was meant to be a decisive blow. Their mission: infiltrate a safe house in Cherkasy, Ukraine, and finally eliminate Anatoly Rasputinov, the world's most dangerous terrorist and leader of the elusive Red Crow organization. But even now, as shadows crept across the crumbling Soviet-era buildings, Roger had a pit in his stomach, a sensation that tonight would be different. Rasputinov name inspired dread. Born from corruption of wealth and the hunger of poverty, Anatoly was the illegitimate son of Russian billionaire Igor Rasputinov and a Ukrainian prostitute named Helga Kovalenko. Raised in poverty, but gifted with genius, Anatoly clawed his way into power through blood, manipulation, brilliance. After the CFO of Rasputinov Steel, a freak accident left him the sole heir of his father's $60 billion empire. Most believe Anatoly had orchestrated the deaths of his father and half-siblings, but no one can prove it. From the shadows of corporate boardrooms to the ashes of bombed-out cities, Anatoly reshaped himself into a global nightmare. He built the Red Crow out of shattered ideologies and extremist remnants. He didn't just fund terror, he moved it into the fabric of modern geopolitics. His crowning achievement was the summit bombing, where over 300 of the world's most influential figures had convened to pursue world peace. They all died in an explosion. That bombing had brought the world to its knees and led Roderick here. Roderick and his team advanced under the veil of night. Petty Officer First Class Jason Fernando, Petty Officer First Class Randolph Shays, and Petty Officer Second Class Stephen Brown. They were the best. Brothers by blood, spilled and shared. And tonight, they followed their leader into what was supposed to be history. A high Velez. From the earpiece, Captain Stevens' voice cracked urgently. Stand down, Chief. Repeat, stand down. That's an order. Roderick clenched his jaws. Orders, politics, none of that mattered now. It was all just interference. He yanked out his earpiece. What did Stevenson say? Said Fernando. He wants this done quick, quiet, and clean. Roderick lied. We finished this tonight. They swept the first floor of the compound, empty rooms, dust, and mold. Nothing alive but rats and echoes. The second floor revealed more promise, a corridor shaped like a T, dimly lit and full of potential. The door marked admin office caught Roderick's eye. Fernando took position and kicked it open. Inside, chaos. Gunfire exploded from within. Bullets tore into the wall. Shays dropped to his knees, returning fire. Brown took one to the thigh and screamed, but kept firing. Fernando lobbed the flashbang. It detonated with a stomach-churning pop. Silence followed. What is my name? My name is Quentin. Q. Legs hit, but I'm mobile, grunted Brown, wrapping it with a combat dressing. They cleared the room, dead bodies, maps, laptops, and behind a tall bookshelf, there was a draft. Roderick ordered Shays to investigate. The bookshelf toppled with a groan, revealing a hidden steel door. Shays pulled it open, weapons raised. Come out now. Okay, okay, came a voice, familiar, confident, mocking. That's him, said Brown. That's Anatoly. They entered the small room, guns raised, but it wasn't Anatoly. It was a laptop playing a live feed. Anatoly appeared on screen, seated in a luxurious office. He smiled. Relax, gentlemen. I had a feeling you'll come. It was only a matter of time. Bastard, muttered Shaves. Let me guess, Anatoly continued. You removed your comms. That was unwise. An explosion ripped through the floor beneath them. The compound shook. Dust choked the air. Fire lit the stairwell. We're compromised, yelled Roderick. Move now. Smoke filled their lungs. Fernando helped Brown. Shay staggered but nodded. He could keep up. As they reached the bottom, a second explosion detonated behind them. Shays flew forward, slamming into the wall. He didn't move. Brown turned back. I'm not leaving him behind. He sprinted into the flames, hauled Shades over his shoulders, gritting his teeth, blood streaming down his bandaged leg. The exit loomed. Fernando and Roderick burst into the night. Brown emerged second later with Shades on his back. They didn't make it far. What book is this? What? This is my book. I wrote it. I wrote it about 6 months ago. I had it published. They didn't make it far. Red laser dots appeared on their chests. They were surrounded. Out of the darkness, boots crunched beneath the gravel. A slow clap echoed. It was Anatoly. Clad in a crisp black suit, unfazed by the heat, the blood, the fear. Well done, Chief. Well done. You almost impressed me. Drop dead, Roger spat. Anatoly stepped closer. His eyes were cold and amused. You see, he said, this was never about killing you. This was about sending a message. He raised his hands. 3 shots rang out in perfect, merciless rhythm. Fernando crumpled, then Brown, then Shays, who had barely regained consciousness and grasped before slumping again. Roger fell to his knees. The pain didn't register, not in his body, only in his mind, in his heart. I want you alive, Chief, Anatoly said, leaning down, so you can tell them what happened, so you can look them into the eyes and explain why you ignored your orders. Anatoly stood up. Tell your government, next time, believe the intel. The terrorists turned and walked away, climbing into a matte black Humvee. The convoy vanished into the night, its tires kicking up ashes and regret. Roger sat there, in the dirt, in the blood, with his brother's bodies at his feet. He didn't cry, he didn't scream, he didn't pray. He just stared into the void of the Ukrainian night and understood finally that war had changed him. And now it had broken him. Oh, was it? The name is the top of the screen. Oh, yeah. I have echo. Thank you. Give me 1 second. Can you hear it now? Is it better now, Liz? Is there echo now? Let's see. Chapter 2. And those baby woke up. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Moondog. All right. Chapter 2, Consequences. And by the way, this book, I had dedicated this book to the military men and women that I served with. It was kind of like the redemption. It talks about the art of war and things like that. So chapter 2, Consequences. 5 months later. How are you sleeping? Said Commander Melissa Roberts, her voice calm but practiced. She sat across from Roderick Bennett in a quiet office at the U.S. Fleet Force Command Medical Facility in Virginia. The room was impersonal, beige, walls, cold lighting. She's done her best to make it more inviting. There was a lamp with a warm light, lavender oil diffusing gently in the corner, and 2 worn out yet comfortable leather chairs. Roderick sat across from her, posture upright, the quiet soldier inside him still on alert. The nightmare don't have teeth anymore, he muttered. They used to rip me out of my sleep. Now it's more like echoes. She nodded. Flashbacks? He nodded slowly. Mostly in the shower. Silent doesn't feel like peace. It feels like waiting for the shot. Melissa studied him. And how do you feel about the upcoming tribunal? Like I already know the verdict, he said flatly. But I need it to be done. I need to face it. I want to be honest with you, Roderick, she said. You made a call that cost lives, but your record speaks for itself. Valor, leadership, Even your CO believes you acted out of conviction, not recklessness. That doesn't bring them back, Roger responded. No, she said gently, but it may keep you from being buried with them, metaphorically or otherwise. He exhaled deeply, like he's been holding his breath for 3 months. Am I clear to go see the Admiral? She hesitated, then scribbled a signature on a clearance form. Yes. But Roderick, yeah? Don't mistake punishment for closure. It doesn't work that way. He nodded silently and left the room. With Dr. Roberts' approval, Roger was able to return to his duties. As soon as he entered the door of his old command post, he was met with disgruntled looks and whispers. With as much dignity as he could muster, Bennett walked into the back of the building to the office of Captain Stevens. Permission to enter, sir. Get your ass in here, Chief, Steve said angrily. Bennett entered the office and stood at attention in front of Stevens' desk for what seemed like an eternity. Stevens stared at Bennett with a look of utter disgust. You do realize that you fucked both of us, right? Bennett nodded his head in embarrassment. Why did you do it? Stevens said inquisitively. Sir, honestly, I just really wanted that bastard to pay for all the lives he stole, answered Bennett. For a split second, Captain Stevens' face relaxed, and you could see that he felt some semblance of sympathy for Bennett. But be that as it may, I gave you a direct order to stand down, and you deliberately disobeyed me. I told you to stand down because we received intel that the compound could be a trap and that it was compromised. Captain Stevens' statement was like a bullet to the gut for Bennett. With a look of horror and disgust on his face, Bennett stumbled backwards, smashing into a wall behind. Bennett couldn't hold back his regret. He began to weep uncontrollably. Captain Stevens sprang up from behind his desk to close the blinds of his office and to console Chief Bennett. After about 15 minutes or so, they composed themselves and proceeded to leave the office to head to Admiral Perdia's office. Where is it? Entering the Admiral's office, Stephen and Mr. Bennett found themselves joined by Colonel Floyd and Navy Captain Sean Williams. Have a seat, gentlemen. Everyone settled in. For a couple of moments, the entire office went quiet. The Admiral sat behind his oversized desk with his hands clasped, staring intently at the investigative files that lay before him. Unclasping his hands, he stood up with his back to those present. Looking out the window, he began to speak. Well, we find ourselves in the middle of a shitstorm souffle. I have 3 dead SEALs, and the person responsible for this heinous act is still roaming free. So as you can imagine, I'm fucking pissed. Returning to his desk, the Admiral collected himself, and in a calm voice he muttered, We already heard from Captain Stevens, but now you tell me what happened that night, Chief. Feeling conflicted over revisiting that night, Bennett mustered up the courage to relive the worst night of his life. Well, sir, my team and I proceeded to the designated area per the intel we received from headquarters. As we approached the compound, I received stand-down orders from Captain Stevens, but I chose to ignore it because it had taken nearly 2 years to find Anatoly, and I didn't want him to get away. I led my team into a trap, I got them killed, and I take full responsibility. His voice quivered. With tears in his eyes, Bennett looked around the room to see if he could gauge the impact of his testimony to those in the room. The Admiral sat back behind his desk, silently staring at Bennett. Then he asked everyone to leave the room except Chief Bennett. All the men quietly filed out of the Admiral's office. Once everyone had left, the Admiral stood up, walked behind his desk, sat down in the chair next to Bennett. Young man, I can't begin to imagine how you feel right now. Nothing hurt worse than losing your brothers in combat. That's a feeling that you never get over. Bennett gestured in agreement. The Admiral got up again and made his way to the window directly behind his desk. Undoing the window and thrusting the window open, he turned around and grabbed a cigar. Do you mind? Said Bennett. He asked Bennett. No, sir. I'm not going to lie to you. As it stands right now, you could be court-martialed. A look of dread slowly came across Bennett's face. There was no way his career could end like this. Honestly, you're one of the best SEALs I've ever seen, and I would hate to lose someone of your caliber. But my hands are tired. The only thing I can do is put in a good word for you as a favor to your father. What was that order? Oh, thank you, Mama Threes. What is it? Okay. Honestly, okay. Yeah, my father, said confused Bennett. The admiral extinguished his cigar and looked directly at Bennett. Yes, I know your father. How could you not know Colonel Richard Bennett? Bennett just sat there in disbelief. He didn't think that his father's reputation would factor into his current predicament. But he was a war hero, so I guess it makes sense, thought Roderick. He won the Navy Cross, correct? Yes, sir, said Bennett. He was my inspiration back when I was a young butterbar, Padilla said, with a look of admiration in his eyes. Still is, to be honest with you. Realizing he had gotten off topic, the admiral took his seat again. Your court martial is set to be held in a week from now. But until then, you are registered. You're resigned to desk duty. I can't make this go away, Padilla continued. There are politics involved, expectations. Someone has to take responsibility, and that someone is you. But I've spoken with Colonel Chedwick and submitted a letter on your behalf. The truth is, I admire your service. You are, by all accounts, one of the most instinctive team leaders we've ever seen. Roger's throat tightened. Then why does it feel like I'm about to be buried alive? Because, in a way, you are, Padilla retorted. But the man who comes out on the other side, if you choose to, can be better because of it. Smarter, more grounded. Padilla stood up, walked towards the window. This is going to hurt, but it's not the end. Understand? Roger rose to his feet, saluted, and said, Yes, sir. You're dismissed, Chief. And for what it's worth, I'm pulling for you. Bennett exited the building, walking briskly to his car. He gets in, and for a moment he stares blankly into his rearview mirror. Snapping back to reality, he angrily attacked his steering wheel. No, no, this cannot be happening, he screamed. Opening his visor, he removed the picture of his father. Sorry, old man. I guess I couldn't live up to your promise. Placing the photo back into his visor, Bennett switched his car on and drove to his house. But yeah, so I pretty much started writing this book because I joined the military when we were in Afghanistan and Iraq, and I had lost a couple of friends. Um, I lost a LPO. For people in the military, that's basically LPO. She's an E6, so she was a non-commissioned officer, and she was shot in the head by a sniper. And I saw how people kind of dealt with grief, and I see how that changes them. And so I wrote this book as a redemption story. So it starts off with what happened with Roderick, and it kind of goes on to how he gets his confidence back to lead again. Okay. Oh, it's nonfiction. It's definitely not. Sorry. It's definitely fiction. It's definitely made up. There's no real. There's definitely no real people here. All these names are people I met when I was in college. So it's definitely fiction. Even though I know some SEALs, it's not their direct story. That's why I made the bad guy a Russian Ukrainian like kind of billionaire and not like anybody from over in Iraq or Afghanistan. Okay. Where was I at? All right. It's the next day. Beep, beep, beep. Reaching across the side table, Bennett silenced his alarm. The day had come for him to find out the fate of his military career. He slowly got out of bed, shuffled lazily to the bathroom. After showering and eating breakfast, Bennett put on his uniform. He obsessively looked into the mirror to ensure nothing was out of place. Seeing that his court martial was at 9:30 and it was only 8, Bennett decided to make a long overdue trip. He grabbed his keys off the counter and headed out the door to go see his fallen comrades. Bennett slowly pulled into the garage to the parking lot of the cemetery. Noticing how empty it was, getting out of his car, he makes his way to the plots that holds the bodies of his dead brothers. Approaching the gravesite, he becomes overwhelmed with grief. First, I want to apologize for leading you guys into a trap. I will never forgive myself. I can only ask for your forgiveness. I'm also sorry for not coming to the funeral. I wasn't in a good place at the time. Besides, there was no way I could face your wives and children knowing that I had caused the death of their father and husband. If I could take it back, I would. Believe me, I would. But I cannot. I miss you guys so much. I will always love you guys. Rest now, brothers. Your watch is over. Kissing every headstone, Bennett returns to his car and heads towards the base. His heart is a little bit lighter now. Pulling into the parking lot of the headquarters building, Bennett noticed Captain Stevens was still in his car. He gets out, walks over to his car, knocks on the window. Sir, are you okay? Rolling down his window, Stevens responded, "I'm good. I was just waiting for you to get here." He gets out, and Bennett renders him a salute. "So let's head in," Stevens says, gesturing towards the building. Both men walked into the building, down the hall, and into the courtroom. Entering, they could see that Colonel Floyd, Captain Williams, and Admiral Padilla were already there. Stevens walked forward, took his seat next to Colonel Floyd. Bennett made his way to the table designated for him. "All rise." The Honorable Judge Colonel Chegwick presiding, said the bailiff. "Please be seated, everyone," said Judge Chedwick. "We are gathered here in the case of Special Warfare Operations Chief Petty Officer Roderick Bennett for disobeying a lawful order, reckless endangerment, which inadvertently led to the death of his team. Is there anything else?" The colonel looked at the bailiff. He nodded his head in agreement. "I would also like to read. I also read that you would like to waive your right for representation." "Yes, sir," Bennett said. "Chief, these accusations against you carry with them some steep penalties. Were you to be convicted, do you understand that? I'm saying there could be prison time. Are you sure you don't want to be represented?" Keeping a stoic face, Bennett reiterated, "No, sir. I will accept the punishment bestowed upon me." After reviewing the evidence of that night and considering the support of Admiral Judge Chedwick, was ready to make his ruling. "Chief Bennett, please stand." Rising from his seat, Bennett gazed directly into Judge Chedwick's eyes. "You are a highly decorated war hero. You have served your country with valor, and up until this incident, your career was exemplary. However, you made a critical mistake, and that mistake ended in the death of your fellow brothers. Take into account Captain Stevens's word, the Admiral's words, and recommendations in your service to this country. I will grant you some form of leniency. For your disobedience, you are hereby reduced to the rank of Petty Officer Third Class and discharged from the Navy effective immediately. Thank you, sir." Keeping a stoic face until everyone had exited the courtroom, Bennett became overwhelmed with emotions. He bawled uncontrollably. After he cried all he could cry, he stood up, popped to attention, gave the flag one last long salute, and exited the courtroom. Let me see. Moondog said my first military funeral was seven soldiers. Oh wow! Oh my God, that's crazy. I've been to two myself. I had one. One was a suicide, and the other one was um, someone who was killed in action as well. And those things they're sad. If you ever been to a military funeral, it's some of the saddest things you ever seen in your life. It's crazy, and it never leaves you. It never does. People don't understand what kind of sacrifice people have to do to protect this country. We take a lot of things for granted. People, walk around here, they talk trash, they, do whatever they want to, but there are many people who have died to make sure we have the freedoms we have. It's a lot. Um, yeah, and it never does, Moondog. It never leaves you. It stays with you forever. And the thing about it, your friendships from the military stays with you forever. Like it's like some of my friends to this day, I still let me see, Michael, Brandon, Anthony. Let's see who else we got. Mark. Yeah, I'm still friends with most of the people who I serve with, and it's amazing. And what those guys have done for this country and all that good stuff, it never fails. But yeah, I just wanted to read like a couple little excerpts from that. But for people who join the military or anybody who ever disappointed a family member or anybody who has ever um, tried their best or given their all to something, only to lose that something and have to rebuild, man, like people don't understand that. And it resonated with me. So all the characters in this book are based on people I met. And so Moondog, guess what? I'm writing part two. Don't be surprised if Clint ends up in part two, because part two is when things get down to the nitty gritty. And if you ever take matter of fact, I might end up sending you a book. When you get to the end, you'll see that how the book began and how it ends is very similar. So it puts Roderick right back in front of Anatoly, um, the man who killed his comrades. But yeah, like man, I had to write something for I had to dedicate it something to my brothers in arms, and that's why I know you and Bean um, were military people, and even though I never met you guys in person, you guys are still my brothers in arms, and I can't let I'll always be there for you guys. We took an oath to defend this country, but we also took an oath to protect each other. No matter what. And that's why if you ever need me, my guy, you have my email now. You can always hit me up. Um, because you served this country and you deserve to have someone on your side. And that's why I do what I do. Like to me, being a veteran, I advocate heavily for veterans. I've seen too many of our people, uh, you know, I've seen too many of our people on the street, homeless. You go to war, you serve your country, and then they forget about you. And that's why I made that dedication to them on Memorial Day. I was talking about like people don't understand the sacrifice you make. Families are destroyed sometimes with the military. You go out like me when I was on the ship. Um, you go out to sea, and you could potentially leave your family behind. And now that your wife had to raise the kids on her own while you up there, 8, 9 months, depending on how long your deployment is, and it's tough on the family. It's extremely tough, and that's why military members have such a high divorce rate because we go like because you're constantly going back and forth, and you don't have any control. You're doing what you're ordered to do, and that's why I feel for anybody in this country, like it really is. It's an honor to serve, but it's also a great sacrifice. It's a great sacrifice to serve your country. It's amazing, but it's definitely a great sacrifice. I don't know anybody who joined during wartime or even joined during regular times and they do a significant amount of enlistments, like let's say 1 or 2 enlistments, that you never leave the military the same. Either your body is broken or your mind is broken or both. And then you get into the VA system and you have the VA system and that can depending on where you are in the country, it can either be great or it can be horrendous. And that's why I'm always trying to find as much resources. I thank God I worked for the government for a little bit, and I was able to get a lot of my military members, get them connected with like veteran services, trying to make sure they had the proper yeah, it's exactly Moondog. It was a joke. I remember at one point people were dying on waiting lists, waiting to get an appointment with the VA. When I first got out in 2013, I made an appointment for because I had PTSD, and I made an appointment, and it took me forever to get in. It took me forever to get in. And when I finally got in, I was talking to a therapist who, no offense to civilians, but I prefer someone who has been in the military because they understand what you've been through. Like and that's what it's kind of like a person. If you ever had sexual abuse, a person who never experienced sexual abuse, they can empathize, but they don't truly understand what that does to you. And so I make sure that most of my doctors or my therapists are veterans, so they can understand when I start talking about like why this was so hard to get over or why this was affected me. Because I remember I was out in the military by the time COVID happened, but I was still working for the federal government, and some of these ships were sequestered out in the ocean for like months. They couldn't even make landfall. They were out for like weeks to months, and so people they were going insane. So being on a ship, I don't know if anybody ever been like a Navy ship is not a cruise ship. So a Navy ship, man, that is depending on what you own, a small boy versus like aircraft carrier or an amphib. Man, I'm gonna tell you right now, that can be a damn nightmare. It can be a damn nightmare. So that's why I kind of wanted to dedicate this pretty much book series to all my brothers and sisters in arms, and that Roderick character is all of us, all of us, telling us that despite how a career may end it, whether you can't wait, whether it ended, honorably or dishonorably or whatever the case may be, you can always reclaim your life. It may seem like you don't know where to go because the military, when they do get rid of you, if you don't prepare yourself, you're lost in the sauce. you're lost in the sauce. You have people who I remember when they have some called TAPS, right? And it's like the transitioning program to help you transition to the civilian life. Back when I was in, it was so bare bones. So you had no idea what your resources were. If you didn't have any money saved, they might give you a severance check or whatever the case would be, or something like that. But you get out, and you have some of them are homeless. They get out, they have no place to go, and thank God they've been slowly but surely trying to make sure they connect veterans with different type of services. But I say all this to say, if you have anybody in your life that served this country, um, it doesn't hurt to not just say thank you for your service, because that can be hollow at times, but actually, try to make sure they're okay. Try to make sure that they have a if they're struggling, treat them to a nice meal, um, and try to pick their brains, because sometimes those people will really be suffering, and that's why initially I wanted to go to be a therapist so I can talk to the men and women. Um, but that's my rant for today about the veterans. How is everyone doing? How was your day? How was your what you do? So who's in here? Moondog. Moondog, how are you doing, man? How's life? How was your day? Mama, three boys. Thank you for your support. How are you doing? How are the boys? How are the kids? Oh wow, that is an amazing first step, Moondog. That is an amazing first step, man. That's good. That is good. Hey, Queen. But I'm glad you went to therapy, man. That it does help. A lot of people don't believe in therapy, but I do, because it was when I was on that borderline of not wanting to be here. My therapist, to this day, she saved my life, because there was a memory. I'm gonna tell y'all about um my memory about the. I never thought the kidnapping bothered me, because I had I had you know the sexual stuff that happened from 10 to 13. So that was always the crux of my life, because it really damaged me. I've been going 3 times a week for a year. That's good, man. I'm happy. That's good. Keep it up. Keep it up for sure. Um, I never thought that kidnapping played an effect on who I am as a 38-year-old man, until she dug deep behind some of my personality quirks. Like I never like sitting with my back to the to people. What else? I don't trust people. I prefer to do things on my own. I don't like things on my face. Like certain little things that I had forgotten all about. She dug it up, and so therapy has a way of like magnifying the small little things that you think was insignificant, but it actually affects your life in great detail. So I'm glad you going to therapy, Moondog. You deserve it, man. Keep it up. I mean, I'm glad you have a therapist that's willing to listen and help you through, whatever you may be going through. Is important. We love you. You know that. You know that. Um, but also the new things. Also, I'll be dropping a new series. I'm filming the first episode tonight. Once I get off this live, I'm gonna pre-record it. You guys know that on my regular channel with Quick Talks, I talked about the childhood trauma. I talked about um, the journey from boy to man. Um, man focus, and now I'll be talking about communication. Um, oh, that's good. Good. That's good, Mama. Three boys. Awesome. I'm glad they're great. But I'll be talking about communication, because between my job as a healthcare administrator, my role as a dad, as a husband to be, um, you have no idea how important communication really is, and how the wrong word could really, 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 affect affect the whole relationship. And so I think I'm gonna be was it back to the wall to cover your sick. Oh, thank you, brother. But yeah, I'm going to I'm going to be dropping that series. It'll be about 4 episodes. I'm gonna start off with common communication woes, like concepts like assumptions. One of the worst things you can do is assume you know what someone is talking about, and and how you combat assumptions is asking for clarification. A lot of us like to assume something. Oh, I know she don't like me, but she never said it. You based it off her actions or what someone else have said, but you can simply clarify by asking, "Hey, do you have an issue with me?" And so a lot of us assume that's a big thing that happens. Also, there's your tone versus versus how people interpret it. Like your tone can make someone either defensive or it can relax them. And sometimes if I come to you like, "Hey man, give me a pencil," that particular tone can seem aggressive as in a demand, and people are really hesitant with doing something like with complying. But if I say, "Hey, do you mind if I have a pencil?" Now that seems more inviting. It seems more like you're asking, and then people, you know, okay, sounds good. Can't wait to do it. Oh yeah, it'll be there. It'll be there. Like I'm gonna write down my script and start with that. But I just want to make sure that we're all good. I want to make a better world, man. I just want to make a better world. I'm tired of seeing all the pain. I see people sad all the time. I see people are filling their lives with empty, frivolous things, like all the toys. I mean, I don't know if y'all saw what happened with Target. People will be boycotting Target, and then they simply told them they're gonna give them a swag bag, and people got up in the middle of the night and wasted their time standing in line for some trinkets. You see what I'm saying? Like that. If people, it's so hollow now that people will take something we cannot get more of, which is time, and waste it on items that you're gonna forget about. You know how many things I bought, like games I bought when I was in my depressive state, and I'm gonna play this, I'm gonna play this game, and I never played it to this day. I have like 5 games I never even opened, but at the time it was like a dopamine hit, and it made me feel good in that moment. And that's what these corporations are kind of weaponizing against the regular citizens in this country. They're weaponizing our depression and our loneliness and all that good stuff, and so we try to fill it with you know cell phones and clothes and makeup and all this other crazy stuff, even social media to an extent. Some of us will go online to get likes and support because we can't get it in our regular life. So, oh, that man, I'm telling you, with Target, that's how it is. That they play these mind games. As somebody who studied psychology as an undergrad, you see these games they play. Target was losing money. Remember, they were losing money because of that boycott, because of DEI, and so they hit people with okey doke because people love free. We know that. If you want to if you want to get a crowd of people to show up, just say we're giving out free anything. It can be you can get out free packs of paper and people will show up because we all love free. So a defensive tone causes a defensive response. Exactly, Moondog. And the cycle continues until recognized. Yep, definitely know about that boycott. Yeah, that boycott was crazy. It was crazy. Um, but yeah, in order for the people to truly band together and take back our country from these rich ass corporations and these rich behind people, we have to start actually standing on our morals. We can't let them weaponize things against us. And because we're all so lonely, we don't really have the true real support. It's leading to a lot of issues on the back end. And you see it with these kids. Kids are all over the damn place, cursing, disrespecting adults. Adults are downtrodden, don't believe in love no more. I don't talk to so many people and they don't even believe in love. They don't believe in marriage. They don't believe in companionship. And somehow, some way, I guess because I've been in a relationship for so long, I had no idea it was a big gender war going on, men versus women, and it's bad. I decided to go down that rabbit hole. I went in that rabbit hole and I'm like, okay, let me see what's going on over here. Man, what a mistake that was. You have one side saying that women should submit and all that good stuff, and the other side saying men are trash, they're useless, they're waste of time. And it's like, what is going on? Like, how we even get here? And all because they don't know how to what? Say it with me, communicate. They don't know how to communicate with each other anymore. So now you have men in their men silos and women in their women silos, and they're just talking to other people who are broken, and there's no, it's crazy. I'm reading my favorite book, A Man's Search for Meaning by Victor. Oh wow, I have to check that out. Exactly, Queen. Exactly. Exactly. Communication is 100% key. Any relationship can be salvaged and saved based on based on communication. That's how you get on. That's how you get on the same accord. In my opinion, people can get on one accord by simply talking to each other. Hey, how are you feeling? I like to check in with my partner. Like even today, I said, "You seem frustrated." I'm not frustrated, but she was like this. So I said, "You seem frustrated. Your body language seems defensive. What's going on?" And turns out she feels she would like the baby had like Josiah. I told you he's a lot. He had like fried her nerves, and she was just looking for she was looking for like relief, but she didn't know how to ask me because she saw I was tired. I wasn't feeling well. But I told her I said, "No, you're my partner. I'm not feeling well, but I can give you an hour or two to so you can have to yourself because we all know kids are a lot." So it's simple communication. Just being aware of your partner and your friends can make a big difference. And I think that's what we need. We need more awareness and teaching kids how to communicate because school is great, but school doesn't teach life skills. I mean, oh, thank you, Queen. I remember back in the day, some of us who us 30, I'll say, if you're 35 plus in this chat, we know for a fact that we had like home economics. We had certain things that teach you life skills. You learn a whole bunch of stuff. These kids not really learning that. All they know how to do is do TikTok dances, and then the schools kind of failed the kids forward. I've never seen that. A kid can't read, but they'll still pass the child forward. The kid can't speak that well, but they'll still pass them forward. And you go from fourth grade to fifth grade, and you still haven't learned what you learned in third grade. And now you have a whole bunch of high school students who can't read, but they can dress nice. They can rap or sing or play sports. And it's like, man, we are really failing the kids because we simply haven't taught them the most basic forms of communication and to speak up when things don't make sense to them because they're embarrassed. That's why I love my teachers back in the day would say there's no such thing as a stupid question because it allowed me to ask something that ask a question if I was confused. It allowed me to feel welcomed and opened, and that's why I try to make myself as open as possible so people can come to me with any type of grievances, any type of issues, um, and that's what it is. And so that's why I do what I do. And I thank you guys for always supporting me, for supporting Liz, because that's all even when we was together. We took on so much baggage. Most of our friends would come, dump their baggage on us. We'll try to figure it out and help them out. So she's spreading her light and positivity, and I'm trying to do my own. Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts were great. So yes, they were. They really were. Like I did Boy Scouts and that was super fun. I learned so many like life skills and I wish I still remembered it because I feel like I always tell people if it's apocalypse happen, whew, I mean I might make it for a little bit, but after a while if I go into those woods, I'm not gonna survive. I don't know how to hunt no more. I'm from Georgia. I used to be able to hunt. I can't tell you what berry, what food to use. I'm drinking all the water. I don't care if it's purified or not. So yeah, my life skills are down the drain. But yeah, I just me, Liz. I'm pretty sure all of us in this chat just want to spread positivity and make sure that we are, trying to restore the world to what it used to be when it was actually fun. When Christmas felt like Christmas, you had something to actually be thankful for on Thanksgiving. You know, we can't do anything about this increasing crazy economy, but we can do something about how we treat our fellow men and women. And so that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. So definitely stay tuned for my new series, season 3 of Quick Talks, and I will be recording it literally right after this. I will be recording it, and I should be dropping it. I may drop it at 8 o'clock if I can edit it tonight, because I don't do a lot of editing. If I can edit it tonight, I'll have it ready by 8 tomorrow morning. And tell me what you guys think. Thank you, Moondog. But definitely, if you guys ever, and if there's a subject you guys want to talk about, like even if you want to come on, like me and Liz do the dual lives.
If you want to do a co-live, just let me know. We can talk about some stuff. Moondog, I think you have a big story to tell, so I definitely would like to link up with you. But Queen and mom of three boys, I feel like you guys have some stuff to say too, especially from a parenting perspective. Because I want y'all to take on gentle parenting or allowing your kids to have an opinion, to actually voice their opinion if they disagree with you. How do y'all feel about that? Because I'm really curious about that. Because I used to be like anti kids talking back, or I wasn't talking back, expressing their opinion. But then after a while, I realized I'm suppressing my kids, teach my kids to just take any type of treatment, and so I allow them to at least tell me with respect how they feel. Dad, I don't like the way you talk to me. Dad, I the reason why I didn't do this because of that. My mom was the opposite. She was like her way or the highway. There was no talking back, and for the longest time, I couldn't find my voice. So I definitely want to talk to the parents and Mama Three Boys. I know for a fact you have kids because it's in your title. And Queen, I'm assuming you may have kids too. And I think Moondog, you may have kids. I'm not sure. I feel kids need to express themselves because they're humans. And exactly, that's good to know, Queen. Thank you. I'm glad that you do that, especially with our kids and like in the black community in particular. You have two different types of black kids. You have the rambunctious kids that get away with everything. The mom never allows them to take accountability. Then you have the kids who've been suppressed to follow authoritarian rule, and now they get out and they don't have a voice of their own. That they want to raise, they work hard, but they don't know how to ask for it because we never allowed them to challenge authority, if you will. So I allow my kids at least talk to me and tell me how they feel. Like my older one that y'all saw the other night, me and him used to get into it because I was still very much my mom's son. I agree with my kids to feel comfortable talking to me no matter what. Exactly. Because that's how one thing I hate more than anything in the world is watching those like either the school shootings or watching the news, and they talk to the parent and they're like, oh my god, how did you not know about your son? And she or he gets there and like, I didn't know. I never know he was this oppressed. I never know he was this sad. And I'm like, how do you not know? Did you ask him? Did you talk to him? That's my whole thing. I never want my kids to feel like they have to hide something from me. I know that kids will hide things in general, but I want to create a space so they can at least come to me and say, Dad, I've been thinking about this. Like I knew when my older son, lost his virginity. I knew about it. He told me, because I gave him that space to do so. I did not tell my mom. Let me tell you that. That holy roller. I grew up in a church, so I definitely didn't tell her. I was afraid I might be crucified along with Jesus. So I kept it to myself. But my son felt comfortable to talk to me, and I gave him all the birds and the bees and how to protect himself and all that good stuff. Whereas I was too afraid to tell my mom anything. But Moondog said, "Hey, a grown 30-year-old daughter who her mother put up for." Oh my God. Okay, man, Moondog, man, I'm telling you, you have a lifetime movie life. Like that's some stuff you find. Like you watch Lifetime, you be like, what the hell? Like your life is. We gotta talk. We gotta talk offline because that's a lot. I love my kids to death. Liz can tell you I'm insane when it comes to my kids. Like trying to take my kids from me, you might go ahead and get your last will and testimony and testament together because I'm coming for you. I love my babies. I love them. They're annoying. They're expensive, but I love my kids. To me, being a father is the number one job I always wanted. I never not wanted to be a dad. So I can imagine. I have never met her. I have intentionally until I can hear myself. That makes sense. I hope she's open. I definitely hope she's open to meeting with you. I think she will. Every kid deserves to meet their biological parents and to have a bond. And that way you can tell her like I never it was never my decision to put you up for adoption. But I definitely hope that you and her can create a lasting relationship. That's very important in my opinion. But yeah, Clint, man, you got it, man. You have a story. You know, I met a lot of people, who done a lot of things and been through a lot of things, but you're at the top of stuff that of people who have gone through a lot of trauma, and that's why I say you're strong because you went through a lot of trauma, and yet you're still here. 51 years you've been carrying all this trauma. So man, hand clap, round of applause for you. That's not easy at all. So you definitely a strong person. Don't ever doubt your strength, and don't ever doubt that you have meaning in this life, because you do. I mean, you're inspiring me. I never met you, but you're inspiring me. Just seeing your story, like it means a lot. So it does. It means a lot, man. So keep on keeping on. Keep going to that therapy, and then one of these days maybe we can do a live together and talk about navigating around and through the ups and downs of life. Because that one thing I'll say, people never really, they never really prepare you for what life really is. Y'all know growing up, we always said, like, I can't wait to get out of my mama's house. I can't wait. And then you get out here, and about, I'll say a good year or two, you like, damn, can I go back in? Can I go back in? Because these bills on top of bills, like you go out and get a job and the jobs don't pay enough. Then they tell you, hey, go to college. You can make a good life for yourself. You go to college and that crap ain't free. And now you racking up debt. now you racking up hella debt. And then you get a degree that you can't even use because either it's fully saturated or that degree requires a master's or PhD level in order for you to actually utilize it. So it is a fun thing. This thing called life is fun. It is fun. You get in here, you start working a job hard as you can. You work your ass off. Yeah, you rush to move out until you actually get out there and you experience. You ain't lying. You ain't lying, Queen. And they still pay pennies with a full degree. They'll have the job description be this long, and then and then they say you go to the bottom, 1995 starting pay. You like, I know you fucking lying. you be like, I know they lying. And then you start talking to them, hey, can we maybe, I have experience, can we just, can we negotiate? And they be like, oh yeah, we can negotiate. How is $20.95? One extra dollar. You like, I know it'd be crazy. And then they try to give you these little so-called bonuses. They be like, oh, you be doing so well. Thank you so much. You guys been doing great. We have a bonus for you, 30 cents. You like 30 cents, a 30-cent raise for all the work I've done for you. The whole company brought in $20 million, but you get a 30-cent raise. I'm telling you, man, these companies be crazy. They be crazy. And then you say, okay, I'll just get 2 jobs. And now you have 2 jobs. And you feel like you can do, you feel like you kind of making some leeway. And then you go get a place to stay. And you realize that rent, the place exactly, and they be taxing it. And then you go get a place, and you go to a nice little 1-bedroom, 1 bath. It's just you don't care. You like, okay, I like to apply for this apartment. They say, oh yeah, you have to have 2 times the rent. The rent is $1,300 a month, and you have to have 2 times the rent to even apply. And so it's not. So now your little check that you're making is getting eaten up by rent. And you said, okay, I can do that. I can do the rent. I won't have no furniture, but I can have at least I have a place to stay. I can sleep on the floor, get an air mattress, and then your stomach start growling. And then you're like, damn, I need to go get some food from the store. You go to the grocery store, eggs $27, milk $19, a loaf of bread $2, a pack of meat $100, and you like, well, god dang. And so now all that money you thought you'd be saving, that check is destroyed. It just bills, money, gas, and now you're up here sitting here like people like, hey, you want to go outside? You like, go outside with what money? I'm gonna sit here and rock in my chair. And that's why I feel like my era of people don't go out nearly as much, because what kind of expendable income do we have? And people say, oh, it ain't how much you make, it's how much you can save. And I'm sitting here like, okay, I ain't get too much detail on what I make, but I've been a 6-figure earner for about 2 years. About 3 years now. And I've been a high 5-figure earner for at least the last 3, so 3 years before that. And let me tell you right now, you can't save much. not in California. Not with kids you ain't saving. So you be over here, I sit my ass in the house. You guys are my entertainment. I go on people's lives. If I want to go to, guess what? This how I plan my vacation. I turn my PS5, I boot up YouTube, and I type in the place I want to go. I'll type in Hawaii, hit enter, and I watch the cameraman. Wow, this is the wonderful place of Hawaii, and I just sit back and enjoy it and imagine myself there. that's what I do. That's how I enjoy. So people are like, hey, oh, what do you travel to? Oh, I've been to Hawaii. I've been to Spain. I've been to Portugal. Oh man, when did you go? Last night. I went last night. It was great. You know, it was fun. But I stayed on my couch and watched it. I watched everybody else live their life. But I'm gonna tell you right now, when these kids get out my house, though, is when the kids get out my house, I might try to live. I don't mind getting my groove on at 50 years old. Me and Evelyn, we're gonna be start traveling then. Don't bring the grandkids to my house. I'll see them 3 times a year. I'll see them Christmas, I'll see them Thanksgiving, and I'll see them on their birthdays. Because I'm trying to travel. I want to have fun. That's my whole journey. But yeah, these kids, they have no idea how life really is. I try to tell these young people, hey, don't be on a rush to run out here and try to be an adult. No, man, when I get out, I'm going to college. I'm making like 150K. And I'm like, really? Is that what you believe? you believe you'll make 150K? I write job descriptions. I hire nurses, and I hired medical assistants, phlebotomists. I do all that. And I'm gonna tell you right now, you sir are not making 150K. You're not. You're not. You'll be lucky to get a job at McDonald's, because even these fast food restaurants are having these high behind requirements. That's just the nature of the beast. It's hard to make it out here. And so I tell people we have to start, so I try to teach these kids, teach them a skill, like computers and all that good stuff. Like, my old behind, I just learned how to go live effectively. You see earlier we had an echo because I didn't realize I had the microphone and this thing was not connected. So I was over here doing all kind of crazy shit. I'm learning as I go. But yeah, these kids, they're technologically sound, but they can't read to save their damn life. I can't tell you how many times I don't got resumes and I'm like, what are you trying to say? At least run it through ChatGPT. I know y'all love doing that now. Run it through ChatGPT at least. But yeah, I want so all of us we're lucky and to have made it, to have someplace. And I think freaking who is it? I think it's Queen. Let's see who said when I see, yeah, Queen. I know New York is expensive. I watched some TikToks of people complaining about how expensive it is in New York. They said, getting a 1 or 2 bedroom is crazy. $2,000-$3,000, depending on where you are, and what borough you in. It is insane. I have some family in Washington Heights, but I'm over here like, man, that's kind of crazy. Like I would love to go to New York one day, but not them damn prices. My highest paid job was trucking. I worked 7 days a week, 14-hour days. I'm living. That's what I'm saying. If you do make a lot of money, if you are making a lot of money, you have to give your blood, sweat, and tears. You don't have time to spend with your family, and that can have issues on the back end. But then if you have a job that allows you some freedom and some flexibility, you ain't making anything. And NY rooms are small. Queen, yep. NYC is definitely crazy expensive. The places aren't even that big. Like that's what I'm saying. That's part that kind of have me looking at New York sideways, because it looks beautiful from what I've seen. I think I've been through New York. I've never been in there to like walk around and experience it, but it looks beautiful, at least the parts that I've seen. But why the hell is it so crazy? And then on top of that, the damn subways. What is it about the New York subways? Like, I've been seeing some crazy shit on them subways. People peeing. People dressed like freaking rat and weird costumes, and homeless people doing little Eddie Kane Jr. dance. What is going on in damn subways? I'm curious about that. My God. Oh, Queen said they make it look beautiful. And then Queen said, I work in the subway. So trust me, it's horrible. That's what I'm saying. Like, what is what these subways are insane. They are insane, man. Matter of fact, you should do content. Oh, well, you probably can't do it at your job. But Queen, if you can get away with filming at your job, I want to see a real life, authentic look at them damn New York subways. Cause that can be that you can call it Subway Chronicles. You know, because I would love to see how what it looks like on a daily basis. People jumping the turnstiles, not paying a fucking fare. Oh, it's disgusting. So much crime in the damn. Yeah, I don't know about crime. But I will say I agree with you when you said they make it look beautiful because that's how LA is too. When you see LA on the when you see LA on the TV, you be like, oh my god, it's so nice. Go downtown. It smell like pee. There's homeless people everywhere, strewn about, like every 2 steps. People are loud. The traffic is ass. It's ridiculous. Hey, Liz. But yeah, it is, man. California, I mean, now San Diego's a little bit different. San Diego is pretty. San Diego is pretty. I'll give him that. Downtown is very nice. Very crowded, but it's very nice. But LA downtown, it's crazy. It's fun. If you're a single person want to get a little fun, it's fun. But LA is not as as grandiose as you think. Even when you go places like Hollywood, Hollywood is yeah. Yeah, I heard about DC. I heard about DC. I heard that the White House itself is in the ghetto. The White House is in the middle, but right if you go a couple of blocks, behind the White House, it's ghetto as hell. So I don't know what I don't have no idea what's going on in those cities at all. I don't know what it is about big cities. You think they look nice, and then you go to them and you're like, what is this? They sell it well. That's what I'm afraid about Hawaii. I'm afraid of going to Hawaii to go to Honolulu, Maui, and and all that good stuff because I'm afraid that it won't be as beautiful as they make it seem, and I would have spent all my money for no reason. But Liz, how was your day? It really is rats around the White House. Oh hell no, Mama Three Boys, rats around the White House. Oh, some says rat in the White House, but we won't start that. Hawaii scenes picture. Exactly, Mom. Exactly. Hawaii scenes picture perfect. It looks beautiful as hell. Yeah, I was good. My day was good. I'm a little under the weather. My throat hurts really bad. But I'm here. I want to go live because I say I'm gonna start doing more lives. I want to read the book. I just hate the fact that the beginning of it was echoey, but it is what it is. Um, but yeah, like we were talking about Liz. We were talking about how people want to be. They want to get out of their parents' house so bad. They want to go out in the real world, and they get out here and they want to run right back. they want to run. They want to run right back to the damn house. Cause let me tell you, if I can go live with my mom for 1 year with the salary that I make, oh, best believe I'll set myself up for a good while. But the way these damn bills to beat me up, y'all think Rodney King got his ass whooped? Them bills to beat me up. I get my little check. I'd be like, whoop, whoop, whoop. What did it say? What book is? Oh, what book is this? Like this book? It's my book. It's called The Unexpected. It's a story of redemption. It's a book I wrote. I've been writing for a long time. Actually, I started writing that book. I started writing the groundwork when I was married to Liz, and then I finished it August of this year. It's on Amazon. So if you want to, or if you have an Amazon Kindle, or if you have like if you have like a Kindle ebook, you can kind of, I think you can download it for free if you have that Kindle Unlimited book, and you can just kind of check it out if you like. Um, oh, thanks, Mom. Let me pin this real quick. But yeah, I wrote it. I'm gonna be writing part two, and guess what? All y'all in here, all my people that have been supporting me, I'm gonna put y'all in the book. I'm gonna dedicate it to y'all because I already know where the story's gonna go, and I've been trying to figure out names for characters. I'm shit with names. Oh, thank you, Liz. I'm pretty crap with names, so I'm gonna start using y'all as my characters. So I'm gonna include y'all in the process. Uh, let me see. Yes, I'll be doing a live tomorrow for sure. Yeah, I'll be going live tomorrow. I usually go live whenever I see something that happens in the overworld. I'll go live and talk about it. And I already got something I want to talk about. And I think I was mentioning earlier that that freaking gender war that's going on between men and women and how we need to fix that shit because right now we have, I think they say this is the loneliest generation ever. Over 60% of men are single, and I think it was like 50% of women are single. And I'm like, how the hell if 70% kiss from Jay what today? But my thing is 50% of of men are single or women are single and 70% of 60% of men are single, uh the math should be mathing, but it is what it is. Um can I be a vampire? Look at this girl. Liz, how you gonna be a vampire in a you wanna be a vampire in a book that has no vampires in there? You can be. I'll give you some options. You could be a mercenary. So I'm gonna tell you what the next what the second book is about. The second book is about the main character of the first book trying to track down the terrorists that killed his SEAL team. The terrorists finally made it to America. He uses scientists to release a virus that's been killing people, and they're trying to locate them. So they learn during the first book. You kind of uncover some backstories of people in the book, and so they go to Mexico because one of the main characters, her dad is a cartel boss. So you can be part of the cartel. You could be part of the enemy faction, Anatoly's group, the Red Crow. So you can be like a terrorist, which I guess I can be Middle Eastern. Just joking. You can be part of Roderick's group that that's trying they're the protagonists, or it could be one of the many groups they run into. So I'll let you decide. Then I'll put you in there. I'll write a character directly for you. But actually, Liz, you're already in the book. I think you're already in the book. You're the main character's mom. Cause remember, I started writing this book when we were together, and I remember I wrote the main character, the mom Elizabeth was the son of Roderick. Come on now. But they say 10% are multi dating. Yeah, Moondog. That's kind of how it is. Yeah, people are dating. They want to say, I'm trying to. We're trying. My next goal is to get Liz a man worth her time. Get her a man. But so I'm have to make sure I vet him. I'll be a vampire that's part of the cartel. You and this damn vampire. There's no vampires in the book. But hold on, my kids. Velez. So my kids are 12. I don't know if you're talking to you or me or you, Liz. But me and Liz share a son. He's 12. I have a 22-year-old, and then I have a 1-year-old. So. Liz, what was your live about today? I know you had a live. I couldn't really join it because I was at basketball practice. I have a game tomorrow at 7 as well. But I'm amazed. I actually might stream the basketball game tomorrow if I have time. So y'all can join that. Y'all can join my basketball live. You can see my varsity team try to get a win. We've been doing good so far. So. Dear Liza. Okay. Dear Liza. Dear Liza. But yeah. So I might stream my basketball game tomorrow. But also, Queen, you should be getting some sleep, girl, because you in New York, so it is what? It is 1 o'clock over there? 107? All right. And let me know how it was y'all. Thank you for correcting me. But yeah, that's just my and as far as my day was kind of crazy. OC with 107. Yeah, you need to get some sleep, girl. Um, Moondog, if you on the East Coast, get some sleep too. I'm about to end the live. Don't worry about it. What was your live? I did I did actually get on your live earlier, Liz, when I was at work. I patched in, and I think his name was Mords or something. He was doing a little bit too much. He was pissing me off. Um, because I don't like misogynistic people. I don't like freaking misogynistic people either. But I damn sure like misogynist people telling you like, oh, why aren't you with your husband and your kids? Like, sir, why the fuck are you with your husband or your wife and your kids? You on him too. Like, what are you doing? Do you have a ball game to play? Well, not today, but yeah, tomorrow we play Steel Canyon. I'm a varsity basketball coach in San Diego, so we play Steel Canyon. I did play basketball uh, for a long, long, long time. I played all Navy ball, which was really, really fun. Trying to make the all forces team. But yeah, I'm pretty decent at basketball. Yeah, they talk crazy, Queen. And the thing about it is, I have time for the trolls. Liz say like both Jay and Liz say ignore the trolls, but I have time for it, honestly. Do you have a job? Yeah, I have a job. Yes. I had a job since I was 15 years old. But yep, I have a job. I have a job. I have multiple degrees. I do pretty well for myself. Um, but yeah, like some people they get on, they get into the comments, and I tell people I have time for you. I really do. I have the time for it because it ain't too much you can say or do to me, anyways. Period. It never bothered me. I love me a good troll because my thing is not only do you not know me, and if you did know me, you'll be real careful how you talk to me. That's one. And the thing about it is you have nothing better to do than to come to somebody else's live to, I guess, try to attack their self esteem or whatever the case may be. But I have my self esteem too high for most people to even try. And Liz know me better than anybody. She know to actually try to make me feel some type of way. I've been through way too much, overcome way too much. Um, so it to me it don't mean it don't mean nothing to me. I have fun with it. In fact, if I can reverse find your ass, I will troll your whole life and all your social media accounts. Every now and then I have a little bit of petty. Exactly. Straight up freaking keyboard warriors. Some people be really keyboard warriors. They will never say that crap to your face. You meet them, and because I mean, one time when I was young and still stupid, I worked in this hospital, and this guy was talking. He was yelling at me, just slamming his hand on the desk. And so while he was talking to me, I just looked up his address, and I pulled up right up his house. I was like, he said, "Hello." I'm like, "So you told me you gonna beat my ass when I was at work? I'm off of work." He was like, "Are you freaking crazy?" That fool said, "Are you crazy?" I said, "Yeah, I actually am." So my thing is like, though, like sometimes there are people who will pull your car and pull up on you. That's my whole thing. And Liz, no, that's kind of person I am. Like, if you push me, I will show up and be right at your damn door. Like, I'm ready for this alleged ass whipping. No, you did good, Liz. Like, I love the fact you ignore the trolls. They don't mean anything. They just a whole bunch of losers. They ain't got nothing to do with their life. Because when you go to their damn channel, they either zero subscribers. Not that that matters, but that lets me know that they made an account specifically to troll folks. I just wish I can look at the damn email and find who they are, so I can troll them in real life. That's the fun part. Hey, yeah, Moondog, that's exactly right. That's what I'm saying. We all veterans are crazy. Like we ready for it. We here for it. Like you want to talk crap trash online. No, I want to talk trash to your face. Like drop a pen. Let me know. I want to pull up right beside you. I want to hear you. I want to hear you say all those little crazy things. But but I digress. I'm a man of fine taste and valor nowadays. I don't want to stoop down to those levels. But every now and then, every now and then, you have to kind of get to them. Have school tomorrow morning at 6:30. Good night. Love you too. All right, take care, dear Liza. Take care, y'all. Oh, dang, tomorrow morning at 6:30. Oof, 6:30. My God. Yeah, definitely get some rest. I don't know. Tomorrow is looking iffy because I had to drink some hot tea. I learned that from Liz, some tea and some honey, but this throat ain't working because my baby decided he want to cough all in my nose. Those of you with kids know babies don't give a damn. They'll be coughing, slobbering all in your mouth, and I'm like, ugh. Now I'm over here feeling like crap. Um, but yes, you guys take care of yourself. Get some rest, my East Coasters and Midwesters, because most of y'all should be in bed. It's either 12 you in the Midwest and one if you're on the East Coast. I love all y'all. Liz, take your behind to sleep too, because you know damn well that you know you love your sleep. You always did. But take care. Oh, thank you, Queen. Y'all take care. I love y'all.